I've made over $1 million selling this one product on Amazon. But here's the secret. That number is revenue and not profit. And most people won't tell you about all the costs and fees associated with selling on Amazon. But in this video, I'm gonna share everything with you, including my final profit. I'm also gonna show you step by step how I did it. Because if I can do $1 million on Amazon, I know you can too. But I'm not perfect. I made a lot of mistakes on Amazon. And I'm gonna show you every single mistake I made on Amazon and exactly how much each one cost me. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna share with you the biggest mistake I've made in my life, at least when it comes to business. And this one mistake has cost me over $100,000. So stick around till the end because you learning from my mistakes could save you tens of thousands of dollars. And I've sold over 37,000 of these boxes on Amazon, which is over $1 million in revenue. But again, revenue is not profit. The first cost I had when it came to selling on Amazon was the cost to actually manufacture my product. And I spent over $280,000 manufacturing my product. And that includes the cost of the materials to make my product, like the nuts, the film, the boxes that it goes in. That also includes things like the master cases, shipping my ingredients to my manufacturer, the manufacturing fee, and shipping my final products into the Amazon warehouse. The next fee I had to pay for was the Amazon selling fee. And this is a flat 15% that Amazon charges for any products that you sell on their website. And in total, over these last 3 years, I've spent over $150,000 in Amazon selling fees. I also spent over $130,000 in Amazon FBA fees. Now, this is the fee for you to be able to send your products into Amazon's warehouse. And when you get a sale, Amazon picks, packs, and ships your product out to the customer. And this fee covers all the labor and postage to get your products sent out to customers. And when it comes to selling on Amazon, there's always other fees. These are things like receiving fees, storage fees, just little random fees. And I spent over $21,000 in these other Amazon fees. Another thing that a lot of people don't talk about is PPC. And PPC means pay per click. And spending money advertising your product on Amazon makes a lot of sense because for every dollar you spend in advertising, you could get $2, $3, $4, $5 in sales. And so to make that $1 million in revenue, I spent over $56,000 in Amazon PPC. And despite all these costs and fees associated with selling on Amazon, there's always other expenses when it comes to running a business. For instance, for me, I spent a lot of money on virtual assistants, I spent money on LLC fees, and just other random fees. And I'm gonna say I spent around $29,000 in other fees associated with running my business. And in total, over the last 3 years of selling this product on Amazon, I've done over $300,000 in profit, which is over $100,000 of profit per year. And this has allowed me to travel, live in my dream location right by the beach, and spend my time doing the things I love. And I'm gonna show you step by step how I did this in just a minute. But what's so amazing about Amazon FBA is once you set it up, it is passive income, which means you can spend your time doing the things you love to do, and Amazon will take care of running the boring parts of your business. And for those that don't know, the way Amazon FBA works is you're able to list a product on Amazon's website. And Amazon is a $1.6 trillion company. Last year, they did over $400 billion in revenue. And the craziest part about all this is 2/3 of all the sales that happen on Amazon were from third-party sellers. This is people like you and me selling on Amazon's platform. So the fact that they let us sell on Amazon is a huge opportunity. But what makes this even better is that FBA stands for Fulfilled by Amazon, meaning that you can send your product into their warehouse, and when you get an order, they pick it, pack it, and ship it out. Meaning you don't have to be in any one location to run your business. You can travel, you can live wherever you want. Amazon takes care of running your business. And yes, it does take some work to get your product created and to get it listed on Amazon. But once it's on Amazon, all you have to do is make sure that your product stays in stock and Amazon does the rest. And because of this, I felt like I got my freedom back these last 3 years. I've been able to travel, I've been able to live in different locations, and maybe most importantly, I've been able to spend my time doing whatever I want to do instead of having to work on my business constantly. And I want to be clear, if you're thinking about selling on Amazon, right now is the perfect time to start. 2 years ago, e-commerce only made up around 12% of all retail sales. Last year, with everything that happened, that jumped up to 16%. E-commerce is growing like crazy. and 50% of all online sales happen on Amazon. So this makes it the perfect time to start. And I think what makes this even more convincing is over this last year, I think we all realized how unreliable having a job is. They can get rid of you at any point, but by starting your own business, it puts your fate in your own hands. And one other benefit of starting your own business is if for any reason you ever want to stop working on your business, you can sell it. And that's what I did last year. I ended up selling 75% of my business for a deal that I think is worth over $1 million. And I've talked about that in other videos, but I want to underscore how amazing that is. If you have a corporate job and one day you get sick of it or you're burnt out and you want to quit, that's it. You're done. You're not going to make any more money. But if you get sick of your Amazon business or you want to stop working on it and do something else, you can sell it. And that's what makes this such an amazing opportunity. Now, there are a lot of different ways to sell on Amazon. There's retail arbitrage, wholesale, private label, and what I personally did and what I personally recommend. And this is what I think is the next big opportunity. And I haven't heard anybody else talk about this. And once I explain it, it's actually pretty obvious. And I'll explain what that is in just a minute. But a lot of people think that Amazon FBA is dead because they tried one of these other ways of selling on Amazon and it just didn't work for them. But here's the truth. Amazon has over 100 million Prime customers in the United States alone. And last year, over 200,000 Amazon sellers did over $100,000 in sales. So there is a lot of opportunity to make a lot of money on Amazon, but most people are doing it wrong. Which brings me to how I did it and what I recommend you do if you're going to sell on Amazon. And more importantly, I want to share with you a secret that I discovered. About 8 years ago, I had a corporate job and I've worked hard my entire life. I did what everybody told me to do. I went to college, I got a job, and about a year and a half into my corporate job, I realized that if I worked my butt off at the end of the year, I'd get a 3, 4, 5% raise. And I realized 40 hours plus a week, I was a prisoner. And I ended up getting really depressed. I stopped enjoying life. I felt like all the energy had been sucked out of me. And I felt like I was a drone, just going to work every day, a cog in the system. I knew that I had to do something. And I ended up finding this book called the 4-Hour Workweek. And in the book, it talks about creating a business that could make money and then to automate it using virtual assistants and systems. And I realized that if I could create a business that would make me $100,000 a year, that I could hire virtual assistants to run that business, and I could use systems like Amazon's fulfillment to basically remove myself from the business, that would free me up to be able to spend my time doing whatever I wanted to do. And even though I was terrified, I eventually got the courage up to quit my job and I started an online dance clothing company with my mom. And when I first quit 8 years ago, I had no idea what I was doing. I found myself spinning in circles. And keep in mind, when I quit my job, I went from making $80,000 a year down to nothing overnight. And this was one of the hardest times of my life. And one thing I wish I would have known back then is if you're gonna do something like this, try to find someone that's already done the thing that you're trying to do and learn from them. And that's part of the reason why I started this YouTube channel, was to show people how to make money online so that they don't have to go through all the struggles that I went through. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure to subscribe because that's what I talk about on this channel all the time. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna share with you a free complete course on Amazon FBA. But let me get back to how I did it, because even though I spent the next several years struggling, trying to make money online, I eventually did create a business that made me that $100,000 per year passive income. Now, again, keep in mind, there was a lot of low points during this journey. For instance, at one point, I even had to move back in with my parents, which was a big blow considering I went from a really good paying corporate job to moving back in with my parents. But it was because of that low point that I realized I don't want to sell dance clothing anymore. I didn't know anything about dance clothing. I didn't want to pretend to be an 18-year-old girl so I could write articles to market this dance clothing company. And I realized part of the reason I was struggling with this company is I didn't really understand the product. I didn't really understand the customer. And that if I was going to be selling something online, I wanted to sell something that I was passionate about. And for me, I've always been interested in eating healthy and athletic performance. And I'd started to notice a trend. People were eating more and more healthy fats. And when I first started eating healthy, I started with regular peanut butter. Then I upgraded eventually to organic peanut butter. Then I upgraded again to almond butter. But I noticed there was a hole in the market. Nobody was selling an ultra high-end premium product, and none of the nut butter products out there were marketed towards athletic people. They were all marketed towards moms and kids. There was no product out there that was really targeted at me. So I started creating different formulas, testing things out. Macadamia nuts, coconut, cashew. I saw that these three nuts tasted really good together. I started giving samples out to friends. They liked it, so I got them all into a Facebook group. Then I started marketing this product on Instagram just to see if there was any interest out there, and there was. So I started collecting emails from people because even though I didn't have a product to sell yet, I knew that one day I was gonna want to sell this product. And this product in particular, because I was trying to make an on-the-go healthy nut butter product, it was very expensive to do a production run. So I didn't have that kind of money. So what I ended up deciding to do was launching a Kickstarter. And I raised over $15,000 on this Kickstarter. And for people that don't know, the way Kickstarter works is people pay you for a product before you ever manufacture it. So that $15,000, I didn't have any product to give them. I took that $15,000 and I was able to use that towards my production run. And after I raised that $15,000 on Kickstarter, I cashed out my 401k, I put every last drop of savings, every last drop of energy into this business, and then I ended up launching it on Amazon. In the first month of launching this product on Amazon, I did $15,000 in revenue, around $5,000 in profit. Then in the second month, I did over $30,000 in revenue, over $10,000 of profit. Within 2 months of launching this product on Amazon, I was doing over $10,000 a month profit. I'd hit my goal. And in total, in that first year, I ended up doing over $360,000 in revenue. But of course, I ended up spending over $100,000 on the cost of the product and paying over $50,000 in Amazon fees and over $40,000 in Amazon FBA pick and pack fees. I also spent over $12,000 on other fees, but I only spent in my first year around $2,000 in Amazon PPC. And of course, there was just other random fees, spent around $11,000 in random fees. But in total, for my first year selling on Amazon, I did over $120,000 profit. I'd hit my goal. I had created a passive income business that was making over $100,000 a year. But to be fair, at this point, I had a lot of fear that maybe that business was a fluke. Maybe it was gonna go away. And the truth is, around 1 to 2 years in, a lot of competitors started creeping into my niche. You see, I was the first product like mine on Amazon. There was nothing else out there. But as people started seeing my success, more and more competitors started coming in the market. And I was super nervous that this was gonna lower my sales. But what happened is, because I was the first person in this space, even as competitors started coming in, the entire market grew. More and more customers started knowing about this product and wanted to buy it. So what happened was, in my second year, I ended up doing over $400,000 in revenue, which is more than I did in my first year. And keep in mind, to be completely honest and transparent, after I launched this product on Amazon and I was making that kind of money, I kind of took a step back and I kind of started enjoying life. I moved to my dream location, I started doing a lot more traveling, and honestly, I wasn't working that hard on my business. But despite the fact that I wasn't working that hard on my business, my sales from year 1 to year 2 actually increased. And in my second year, after you subtract all my costs and all the fees, I did over $150,000 profit, which is absolutely amazing. But here's where things kind of took a turn. In year 3, I did over $200,000 in revenue, which was a big difference from year 2. And I'll talk about later in this video the mistake I made that ended up leading to my revenue getting cut in half. But again, after subtracting all the costs and fees associated with selling on Amazon, in year 3, I did over $60,000 profit, which is still really amazing. It's about as much as I was making at my corporate job, except for I was making this money passively. And because my sales were dropping, and honestly, at that point, I'd kind of lost passion for the business, I ended up selling 75% of my business for what I think is $1 million deal. Now I want to share with you all the mistakes I've made with this business, including the one mistake that cost me over $100,000 in just a minute. But I want to point out, these last 3 years have been amazing. They've been some of the best years of my life. And Amazon has made all this possible. And I realized, if you want to make a lot of money online, don't do retail arbitrage. Don't wholesale someone else's product that you don't care about. Don't private label some junk product. Find something that you're passionate about. Create something unique, something different. Create something that's better than the competition. And this works. It's worked for me. It's worked for Michael. It's worked for Mina, Ariana, Troy. I have a playlist of all the different real Amazon FBA stories you can check out. And before I get into the 3 biggest mistakes I've made on Amazon, I do want to let you know that next week I'm going to be opening up an in-depth training program for Amazon FBA. I'll put a waitlist up here and down below if you want to get more information on that. Or you can stick around till the end of the video and I have a free Amazon FBA course for you that's not as in-depth, but it's still absolutely amazing. The first mistake I made, and probably one of the mistakes that people are the most afraid of, is being scammed by my manufacturer. And I have had so many bad situations with my manufacturer. For instance, at one point, my manufacturer sent me pouches that were leaking, basically defective product. They've also sent me pouches that didn't have any tear notch, which meant that I had to hire people to cut the tear notch on each one individually. I've also sent to my manufacturer the film, which is what the pouches are made out of, and they basically said, sorry, this won't work, which cost me $5,000. But the worst thing that happened to me when it comes with manufacturing is my original manufacturer told me that they were going to be 5xing their manufacturing cost. So I switched over to a new manufacturer who ended up just scamming me out of tens of thousands of dollars. I did a complete video breaking this down. So the reason I bring this all up is make sure if you're going to be selling on Amazon to find a good manufacturer. And I've done videos before on how to find a manufacturer. Really, this is rare and my product is really unique and there's not a lot of people out there that can manufacture my product. So I had more problems than most people do, but this is something you should be aware of. Make sure you get a good manufacturer. The second mistake I made, and this is the most common mistake, this is the number one thing I see all new sellers messing up on, is I ran out of inventory. Do not run out of inventory, because what happens is if you're selling on Amazon and you're selling a lot of product, Amazon is going to put you at the top of the search results. But if you run out of inventory, they're not going to keep you at the top of the search results. They're going to blacklist you. And if it takes you too long to get inventory back in stock, other competitors will get to the top of the search results and they might bury you at the bottom of the search results. Now, luckily for me, I was only out of stock for a few days, which led to a loss of probably about $3,000-$4,000 in sales. But for a lot of people that run out of inventory, they're never able to recover. So make sure that you do not run out of inventory. And this leads me to the biggest mistake I've made in my life when it comes from business. And if you learned one thing from this video, please understand this principle. I wish I would have started sooner. I wish I would have launched my product a year earlier, because that would have given me a year head start on the competition. I also would have made at least an extra $100,000 in profit. Also, when I launched my original product and sales were starting to do really well, what I should have done was launched a second product even sooner. Now, I eventually did launch a second product, but it was 2 years after I had launched my original product. And if I would have really put the pedal to the metal and grown this business, this could have been a multi-million-dollar business. But to be fair, these last 3 years have been the best 3 years of my life. Even though I didn't make multiple millions of dollars, I made over $100,000 of passive income per year, and I was able to have free time to do whatever I wanted to do. And I want to teach you how to do that for free. I have this video right here that's an in-depth step-by-step tutorial. So click on that video, learn how to do this. Amazon FBA has absolutely changed my life, and I want to help you be able to live the life of your dreams. So click on that video. I'll see you in the next video, and remember to enjoy the journey.